Hey y'all, it's Alexis from Ask Alexis here. And I'm just coming to talk to you guys about something that came up with one of my clients and then also came up with me and to give you the contrast. It has to do with knowing how to feel like you are valued. Um in my work lately, whether it be allyship, connection skills, connection with self, personal transformation, it it's been coming up and within myself. What happens when you grow up like not knowing that you are valuable in your household or to those that you love? And one of the ways that it came up was with big brothers. And then that being a part of big brothers and absent and households with absent fathers. I grew up my biological father died when I was 5. He was active in my life very much until he died. My brother's father became my father a few years after that, but he worked a lot, so he wasn't as present, and then he was not in the household. Um, with this particular client, their father was not in the household, and their brother's father was nowhere to be around and really not even acknowledged. Um, so when I was talking to her about the different ways that she was treated in her household, and that has to do that you guys has a lot to do with how we form our expectations of others as it relates to ourselves. So I was talking to her about that. And one of the things that came up is her brother never wanted her around. Well, that's kind of common, especially if the older sibling has to be a babysitter, right? Like the children want to go do what they want to do, especially if they are older, right? They want to be around their friends, not their annoying little sister. But what that does in the absence of other kind of value created, is it makes you feel like, no, wherever I go, I'm not wanted, right? No, you don't want to be around me. And then a lot of times, when in an absent father household, that big brother role is like your masculine energy example. And so, one of the things that came up with her was like, you wouldn't know if somebody valued you if they hit you over the head with "I value you," right? So we're working through that. But then the second part to this is that my brother came over and was able to give me some insight to myself that I did not have, and that didn't have to do with something I can or can't do. And that was this whole restorative experience in and of itself, because I grew up also feeling like that little sister. And what he said to me was like, you know what, Alexis, you have really improved in your ability to emotionally self regulate, because it used to be, even like a couple years ago, because, I'll be crediting my spiritual awakening, which was 4 years ago, from the time I changed. But other people get to see the outward behavior of me. So he was like, even a couple years ago, you were, whenever you expressed your intense emotions, they always had rage in them. And you did not know how to express yourself without it coming out with some rage attached. And I ain't even realize it, but that was true. It was very true that the rage be living inside of me. And it used to be a part of every way that I expressed any unpleasant emotion. And so the moral of these stories, because right now it was just share time, is to look inside yourself and see the ways your feelings are complex and involve more than one. Look at the way you grew up and see who made you feel valuable, and not valuable like you had to earn it or you had to do something to get it, but who made you feel valuable just because you were valuable to them. And once you figure that out, reflect on it for a long time and figure out how to add more of that in your life and give more of that to others. Because we got to get out of this situation where we are only getting with people, friends, lovers, forming connection based on consumption. And what I mean by consumption is I'm only around you, with you, in relationship with you for what you do for me. And I don't even think about what I do for you. Or I might think about what I do for you, but I only do it for you if you earned it. And I'm not saying don't have standards for who you allow in your inner circle. But what I'm saying is you can have a standard without having it be someone else's, what's the word, where you take them down, like where they lose their value. Just because something is not for you doesn't mean that it has no value. It's just not for you. You don't have to judge it. You don't have to condemn it unless it's systemic oppression. And frankly, you had your choice not to do that, but I'm not down with that. Share future or bust. Um, but just, yeah. And value people, see people, understand their motivations, and then nurture the ones you support without shaming the ones that you don't. All right. That's Ask Alexis. I'm sorry. That's today's Ask Alexis lesson as it relates to skills for connection. Y'all have a great day and try to keep your sanity because it is rough out here in these streets.